Alright, so we're going to do the Tailwheel Endorsement today. So last time I made a video, the audio was kind of bad because I mumble. I'm going to try and not do that. I want to kind of highlight this. This is going to be a much shorter video. The last one was excessively long, like 27 minutes or something crazy, which, I mean, I have the attention span of a freaking goldfish, so we're going to try and make this a little bit better. So this will be a shorter video, knock this out, and then the next one will be one of the new missions with the Tailwheel. I also went and got my high performance endorsement in this as well, which was pretty simple. So that'll be all right.
As covered in our briefing, we'll be performing a standard traffic pattern around Miami's KLNA Airport with the Cub Crafters X-Cub.
Okay.
Remember that tail riggers do not behave in the same way as tricycle-geared aircraft while taxiing, taking off, and landing. Try to maintain centerline and anticipate rear wheel drift while turning on the taxiway. Keep your speed low while taxiing and brake progressively while pitching back once you land to avoid flipping the aircraft over.
Sir, yes, sir.
Remember,
Kilo Lima November Alpha Traffic Cub Crafters
lift
Zulu
the tail of the
Kilo.
aircraft by
Whiskey
gently
Whiskey
pushing
Alpha
forward
is
on the
taxiing to runway
Once you are on the
10.
main gear and reach rotation speed, start gently pitching back to take off. Keep your feet on the rudder to brace for left turning tendencies.
Ooh, see, there we go. This is extremely twitchy. Hello, Tug. I guess you're just going to go in front of us. That's awesome. Thanks, buddy. Alright, there we go. So yeah, I don't know how accurate this is as far as Cub Crafters are concerned, because this is extremely twitchy, and I also don't have rudder pedals, so extra fun. So now, usually in Tailwheel, what you do, is you'll S-turn enough to where you can see this stupid tablet is in the way, but you would S-turn to where you could see it. Then when you lose sight of the, or gain sight of the center line of the taxiway, you just come on back and S-turn around, because generally you can't see over the nose, as you can see, and it's really like this. Some of them are worse than others. Decathlons, you can pretty much see over the nose. I can't make myself. Well, maybe I can here. Yeah, I didn't go there. Anyway, some of them you can see where you can straight taxi, but other ones you need to S-turn. Otherwise, you're going to hit something if you're not looking for it. This is going to be interesting with that rudder pedals. My rudder pedals are coming tomorrow, so we'll see how that works out. I've never had rudder pedals for a video game before. There we go. Alright, set the parking brake. Now here's where we normally do a run-up, but we're not going to do one because it's a video game.
Kilo Lima November Alpha Traffic Cub Crafters Zulu Kilo. Whiskey Whiskey Alpha taking off runway 10 west departure.
Now in the last one I talked about having differential braking set up. Alright, lining up with the center line of the runway is kind of difficult. And when you're taking off, you kind of roll into the throttle nice and easy. You start getting some precession here from the prop and lifting the tail, so you got to use rudder. What is happening? I have no power. Fuck me. I don't think I turned the fuel selector valve on. Oh good, we get to do it all over again. Awesome. Oh, this is supposed to be a short video. And it's supposed to be like, oh, this is how you do it. It's real easy, blah, blah, blah. Alright. Oh, yep, there's a fuel selector valve. Yeah, it was off. So that was... Don't do that. On.
Kilo Lima November Alpha Traffic Cub Crafters Zulu Kilo. Whiskey Whiskey Alpha taking off runway 10 departure to the west.
Oh, I was hoping we could open the door or the window. Wait, here we go. Open the door. Alright, Open windows. Hell yeah, that's the way you're supposed to fly these things. Okay, so I shot this video once already, but I made the mistake of opening the windows like so, and it was so loud you couldn't hear me talk at all. So I have to redo it, but you won't see the transition. Well, you'll see it cut from one video to the next, but anyway, here we go. We're ready to go. Let's get this
Kilo
going.
Lima November Alpha Traffic Cub Crafters Zulu Kilo. Whiskey Whiskey Alpha taking off runway 10 west departure.
Centerline, a little camera thing there. Full throttle. Nose down. Tail up. Oh, stay on the water. Stay on the water. God, this sucks without pedals. Alright, now we're in the air. Cool. Oh, it's so much quieter. Yeah, tailwheel flying is really fun. Takeoffs, the landings are always the most difficult. I mean, once you're in the air, it flies like an airplane, right? But taxi, takeoff, and landing require a much finer skill set than on a tricycle gear like a 172 or anything like that. There's a couple fun landings you can do. Crosswind landings are always a blast. So the three types of landings you have for a tail wheel are you have 3-point wheel landings, and then crosswind landings are a variation of the two. So wheel landings is when you touch down with the mains first and you keep the tail up in the air as long as you can. A 3-point landing is when you touch down with all three wheels on the ground roughly at the same time. Doesn't always happen to be the case. Sometimes you hit the tail first, sometimes you hit the mains first, but generally you're in that nose-up attitude like you would be if you were on the ground. Now there's crosswind variations for each, and basically all you do is if you have a crosswind, you come in and you're like cross control, so you're going straight down the runway. You're kind of like this, and then you land on the mains. In a wheel landing, you'll land on one wheel, and that wheel is usually on the windward side. Not usually, it's always on the windward side, otherwise you're not going to land. But, did it again. Whatever. And then 3-point is kind of the same way, except you're doing it as
Try to land
all three
by
wheels
making
touching the
contact
ground at the
with
same
all
time.
three wheels at the same time.
Yeah, see, there we go. All right, so one thing I wanted to touch on in the other video that wasn't touched on here, or in this game really, is your glide slope. Those two white dots there next to the runway, that's your glide slope. So 2 white means you're high, a white and a red means you're on glide slope, which is about 3.5 degrees, and then 2 red means you're low. Now, they also have one where there's 4 lights, and I forget the name of them. It's been a long time since I took any tests. But 4 lights is 2 white, 2 red, you're on glide slope. 3 white, 1 red, you're a little high. 1 white, 3 red, you're a little low. And then all of one color, you're either high or low, depending on your situation there. So, like this one, technically I'm below glide slope, but I also want to touch down early because I have a tail wheel and I can't slam on the brakes without risking the tail wheel coming up and then slamming back down and breaking it. And there's also a thing in tail draggers called a ground loop, which is you saw me do that in the first attempt I did when I crashed because I lost engine power and I just wasn't paying attention. Luckily, I've never done that in real life. Hopefully, I never do. So keep in mind of that. That's when the tail gets out past the center of gravity in a turn, and it basically spins around. And that can happen either when you're going really slow or really fast. That was quick. Yeah, see, I don't like how touchy this is. I need to stop here. It's not going to let me. Stop. Fuck.
Kilo Lima November Alpha Traffic Cub Crafters Zulu Kilo. Whiskey Alpha is taxiing to parking.
That's some of the things you need to be aware of. I mean, in the game, you know, yeah, you ground loop or you crash, it gets a reset. So, you know, if you're trying to do this as realistically as possible with rudder pedals and everything, then yeah, you really got to pay attention. Otherwise, you can just kind of, you know, force your way through it and still pass, and you'll be fine. Like I said, I don't have rudder pedals right now, and I just have the rudder tied to a hi-hat, or not a hi-hat, whatever swivel button thing on my joystick, which makes it easier to control, but not easy. But yeah, if you really want to play this game with a tailwheel airplane, rudders are the way to go, man. Alright, nothing special happens after this. It just tells you passed, blah, blah, blah. So hopefully this video comes out better than the last couple I've tried, and the first video that sounded like garbage. And when we get into some of the more interesting jobs, I'll do videos of those. I'm not going to do jobs of like first flight stuff, because frankly it's boring. You go up, you fly around in a circle of some place, and then you come back with passengers, and nobody wants to watch that. So all right, y'all have a good one.
Great flying today.
I'll see you next time.
You've clearly shown that you have what it takes.